to be dealt here with today. English literature. It includes all sorts of works written in English by different authors. There are innumerable stories, maybe short or long, so many novels, poems, plays. We also call plays drama, essays, so many works we have in English literature. Now, regarding the content of such works, the author either uses the style of narration, narrating incidents, or he might involve conversations amongst his characters. So, dialogues form an important part of the piece of writing. Dialogues, that is, sentences written in direct speech. I hope you can recall what is direct and indirect speech. And when you deal with the dialogue, several queries may arise as by whom was it delivered, and or who was the speaker talking to, the context in which he was speaking, the situation, and so on. So, through this video, you will get a glimpse regarding answering of a special topic, reference to the context. The conversation that occurs between people might be a result of a particular situation, or it might even lead to a particular situation in the story. So, reference to context means all sorts of discussions about a particular quote or a dialogue. For example, who is the speaker? Who is the speaker speaking to? What is the meaning of the dialogue or the quote? What does the quote reveal about the story? Even what could it mean for the rest of the story and the characters, and so many other things. Now, while answering the questions regarding reference to the context, some particular things may be mentioned as the piece of literature it belongs to, the type and the form of the work, the author, the location of the dialogue or the quote in the story, besides the situation, that is the context of the given quote. So, you must keep all these things in mind to deal with today, and the name of the story is Meeting Suzanne. We are going to deal with the particular question today. Who said these words and to whom were they said? Few questions we have as dialogues. See the first dialogue in the story. Questions. Always questions. Now, who said these words? Very interesting story this is, and all of you have studied it. Obviously, you can understand it has been said by, the words have been said by Amandine to Yannick. Now, regarding the context, what is the context in which these words were said? The dialogue was said by Amandine. Questions, always questions. Why did Amandine say these words? You can understand that these words were said to Yannick when he asked her about the famous customer who was to visit the inn. He had asked her the reason of his being famous, and that is why Amandine did not want to answer his question. She was in a hurry to, so she did not want to answer, and so she mentioned these words. See the second question. He is the most famous painter in the world. Of course, Amandine said these words. And to whom? To Yannick. Now, what is the context? Why did she speak these words? What is the context, the situation? Okay, children, the situation was that when Yannick, in course of clearing the table, after the guests had gone from the inn, in course of clearing the table, he had pulled the paper tablecloth and thrown it into the fire. And when Amandine saw this, immediately she rushed to the fireplace to pull it out, but her attempt was unsuccessful. Now she had shouted badly at Yannick for throwing the tablecloth there, and it was now that she described that the drawing he had wasted by putting into the fire, drawing he had wasted. And why is the drawing so important? Because it had been made by the very famous painter, the same customer, the special customer who had visited the inn the same day. For the third question, I have a dialogue for you. He threw it into the fire, the tablecloth, the drawing. Okay, well, Amandine said this to her father. This is the conversation going on between the daughter and the father. When the father asks the reason for her to shout, what had happened? What is the context of this dialogue? When Yannick had thrown the precious tablecloth into the fire and Amandine had made an unsuccessful attempt at saving it, he shouted at Yannick. She had shouted at Yannick and blamed him for the loss. And she feared that her father would be angry at her for the loss of that precious drawing by the famous painter which was given to him when he liked his food. And this was the reason when her father asked her why she was shouting, she says these words to her father. Many more dialogues we have, and those we will discuss in the next video. The chapter number 1 will be continued in the next